What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, I'm going to showcase one of the Pokemon that I think is the most interesting out of the moveset updates here in this season, and that is Ludicolo. This Pokemon with both Astonish as well as Weather Ball added to its moveset has a lot more interesting potential than it used to have in the Go Bad League. It's a very unique water and grass type Pokemon, and because it has better pacing with Weather Ball, as well as a lot of fast move pressure with Astonish, there's a chance this Pokemon could be pretty good. I'm going to pair it up with Unova Stunfisk as well as Shadow Caesar. Let's get into the battles and see what this team can do. Alright, got an opponent. Ludicolo into Jellicent. Okay, we have super effective Astonish here, although the Ghost-type damage will add up quite a bit against us. So we'll see what they want to do. And they actually do swap out instantly here into an Umbreon of all things, which I don't necessarily have a hard answer for. So I'm going to stay in here for a second, because I have ways to deal with that Jellicent, whereas this Umbreon here is a little bit annoying. Foul Play doesn't one-shot us, which is kind of nice. I'll go for the Leaf Storm, because I'm at back-to-back Weather Ball. Maybe they don't expect it. Nice. That's about as much damage as I can land against that Umbreon here in one hit, so that's pretty good for us to see. I'm going to bring in Unova Stunfisk because the switch clocks are so distinct right now that potentially they could bring back in that Jellicent here. And if they do, I'd rather bring in my Unova Stunfisk that has a lot of bulk as well as a lot of super effective fast and charge attack pressure against it, rather than my Caesar that might kind of struggle against it later on. Plus, these Foul Plays into a Shadow Caesar would actually do quite a bit of damage, so I think there's quite a few reasons here to bring in Ufisk instead of Caesar. Alright, Mud Bomb is not going to knock him out, but it will put them into the range where the next Mud Bomb could potentially be enough. But they're just going to spam out so many Foul Plays at this point. Alright, Foul Play once again is thrown. We do survive that. Oh, wow. I guess I shouldn't have thrown this energy here, but we're in such a good spot with our Shadow Caesar in the back line. We might not even take an Icy Wind here, though, with that chip damage. They might get to a Swift. Yeah, they get a Swift here. And I will shield that up, just because, I mean, Caesar is going to be really hard to take down if I'm in the green HP. They have Snarl as well as Hex as their fast move pressure, so there's really not a lot here that can farm us down on their side. They come in with Jellicent, which, while that is a smart play, saying they do resist my Bullet Punch damage, I have so much energy, and Night Slash as well as Trailblaze are both super effective here. We get a shield. I guess I'll go for the Trailblaze this time, just because, you know, why not? It's going to boost my attack stat up. And while they do shield that here, now they're in a spot where potentially my next Night Slash could just knock out. They're one away from the next Surf. They might try to swap into Umbreon, though. They don't, so we have that Night Slash ready to go. And while this might not completely knock them out from here, they're just going to be in Bullet Punch, Thundershock, or Astonish farm down range, depending on what they want to do. Yeah, that's basically enough damage there. I could have actually caught this move on Ludicolo. That could have been a fun play to try to keep my Caesar around, but I don't think we need to do that. We can just come in with our Ludicolo, Astonish this down, and now we can throw the Weather Ball into this Umbreon. Alright, nice. Landing that Leaf Storm earlier on in this game was actually pretty important because I don't have a great Umbreon answer, so any chip damage that I can get against that thing is so nice. And then Ludicolo can just close out this endgame here too, Astonish down that Jellicent, and take the win. Next battle. Let's see, Ludicolo into Lurantis. Okay, that's probably not a great lead matchup, but I have a Unova Stunfisk in the backline that's actually even weaker to this, so I guess I just have to stay in. Astonish damage will add up quite a bit. And, I mean, maybe I can, like, bait them with an Ice Beam. Okay. I didn't want to let them get to 2 Leaf Blades before I threw a Charge Attack, so I went for a risky Charge Attack priority. Yeah, Leaf Blade will come through. It hurts quite a bit, but it doesn't one-shot us. They're at 4 right now, so they have another Leaf Blade ready to go. Nice, we get a shield. And we have another Weather Ball ready to go. So they're at 6. They could be out of Superpower, so have to keep that in mind. I'm going to bring in my Shadow Caesar and probably be my a Fire type here in just a second, but I want that Lurantis out of the way. Okay, that's not even close to a bad matchup. This is very playable here, because I can ramp up my attack with the Trailblaze, and either one-shot them or get their final shield. And after that, I think a Night Slash could be enough to knock out. They Night Slash us, which also makes sense. Okay, well, they boost, which is not fair, but I mean, Water Shuriken's not going to farm us down, but I will take a lot more chip damage here than I would like otherwise. Okay, so they're at 2. They have another Night Slash now. I wish they didn't boost. Now I'm at half HP, so I'm pretty low. Lower than I'd like to be right now. But there's still 3 more fast moves away from their next attack. I'm going to throw here after just 3 bullet punches to make sure I can knock them out, as well as make sure that I take less fast move pressure from this Pokemon. Maybe I can still get a Night Slash off against the backline. We don't even need that. We just have a Unova Stunfisk, which destroys Bastiodon. Our whole team has played a Basti, which is pretty nice, but by far that is our best matchup. Next opponent. Ludicolo into Pangoro. Okay. Well, I don't love seeing this Pokemon. In fact, I'm actually going to just swap here to Shadow Caesar, because maybe I can get some shields down. And if shields go down here, it's going to be a lot easier for my Ludicolo as well as my Unova Stunfisk to deal with this Pangoro. They go for an instant Night Slash, and I do have to shield this up. Wow. They had a Talonflame, and they did not bring it in immediately. Which is maybe a smart play, because I took so much fast move pressure that, well, I mean, I actually be in 2-shot range from a Shadow Incinerate anyway. But, like, okay. I guess I get the boost there. Is that even good? It could be fine, I guess. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in my Stunfisk just to get a big energy lead. They got our shield with that Night Slash, which was probably a pretty smart play, all things considered. But I can survive a Flame Charge here pretty comfortably. But I am a little bit worried about that Pangoro still in the back line. Because, I mean, Ufisk isn't the greatest counter to it. And while I have some energy here, I'm just in Night Slash range now. At least I will be pretty soon. And I won't be able to outpace the longer that matchup goes on. Ah, man. Also not a great Pokemon to see there. I think they just have us, unfortunately. I don't know how I take down a Goodra at this point. Really bad team comp for us to see. Very weak to, like, a fairy lead, I'll be honest. They'd probably lose to a single fairy lead, like, of any kind. I don't know how they can have a team like that. But, you know, they take the tactical risk that I'm not running a fairy type. And they're right, I'm not running a fairy type here, so they can win this game. Yeah, this is over, unfortunately. I can't believe they're running Pangoro Goodra core. I was hoping it would be like, I don't know, Clodsire or something in the back line. Because I've seen Clodsire, or like some sort of Poison-type core, maybe even Jellicent. Which, while that is still weak to Wigglytuff, is not quite as bad. Okay, let's hope we don't find any more of those crazy Pangoro teams. Much better lead, actually, here. We have super effective Astonish damage into the opposing Ghost-type Pokemon. They can outpace us here, but that's about it. And if I get this Pokemon out of the way, I mean, it's not like Caesar really wants to fight this Pokemon, and it's also not like Ufisk wants to fight this Pokemon, so I'm kind of happy with this. 2 Shadow Punches, though, from the Shadow Dusclops probably will knock us out after the Hex damage, yeah, so I'm actually just going to overfarm here. I'm fine investing a shield, because while Weather Ball wouldn't knock out just yet, after 2 more Astonishes they will, and I can come out of this matchup with a lot of HP and a lot of energy, just for 1 shield. Or I guess if they want to shield this next Weather Ball, they have to double shield, right? If they want to get their next Shadow Punch off. Oh wow, they actually do shield that. I mean, they have to shield this one as well then. And if they shield this, then I'm very fine just taking a shield advantage for my Shadow Caesar. Okay. There's always a chance there's like a Shadow Talonflame in the backline that could be kind of bad for us here. But almost anything else in the backline, aside from a Fire type, is probably very hard for our opponent to come back from here. Knock them out right when they reach that Shadow Punch there. Okay, they bring in a Bastiodon, which I guess, for all things considered, are... It's a decent counter, I guess, to Shadow Caesar, right? There's worse things in this matchup. But I should be able to leverage a lot of energy here. Oh, I tried to go for the catch. I guess maybe I didn't tap on it. I could have sworn I clicked the button, but maybe I'm just bad at this game. Now I have to use a shield here that I didn't really want to use. Maybe I'm just bad. I'm going to be so low on HP now. I hate that they buffed Smackdown. Okay, nice. We don't take that next Smackdown there. If I can reach a Night Slash, I'm in a pretty good spot. Okay, if I can reach a Trailblaze especially, I'm in a good spot. I should have thrown that Night Slash saying I'm boosted, but whatever. I think we still get 2 discharges off here. And then still a Night Slash. But I should have thrown the double boosted Night Slash, obviously. This might be a Hydro Pump, actually. They built up to 7. It is. We survived that, but man, that hurts. If I lose this game because that Night Slash doesn't knock out, then I'm so bad. 1. You have the second one here, so this is the... I don't know, is this enough? I don't think this quite knocks out, but we do have that Night Slash in the back line. Man. I think it still knocks out. But I really wish I would have thrown the boosted move, because that would have really just guaranteed the win. But yeah, I think this still does it. Yeah, it still does it here. So despite the kind of inefficient way to play that out, we still won. But man, if I got that catch on that Stone Edge, we would have been in a really good spot there. Next opponent. Ludicolo into Dunsparce. Okay, don't love this lead matchup. I am not great into Pokemon that resist Ghost-type damage, right? So I'm just going to swap out here and go instantly for a Night Slash. Well, this isn't going to one-shot or anything. The amount of damage I can land here is really nice, because maybe it puts them into range where a Weather Balm or a Mud Bomb later on could knock out. And they throw an alignment here too, which is really cool for us, because if they stay in this matchup, I would actually be able to outpace the next attack as well. And they are staying in. So they must be a little bit scared of Shadow Caesar. I'm kind of thinking at this point, maybe it's a good idea to shield a second time. I know, bold strategy, double shielding a Shadow Caesar. But if they're staying in here, I feel like Shadow Caesar can put in a lot of work in the back line. Or at least enough work to maybe get my shield back. Alright, did they give us the farm down here? If not, then I can just swap out too. And they do end up swapping into a Furo, which will be able to reach a Drill Run here, but that's fine. I survive this, and I can get a Discharge off in just a second. And they can get to a Drill Peck here, but they're not going to get a second Drill Run. I don't know if a Drill Peck is enough to knock us out. I hope that they just let this go, though, because I really don't want to deal with this Furo. Well, they have the Drill Run? Okay. Let's see if this knocks us out. Or, this is the Drill Peck, not the Drill Run. I might survive this still. I do. So I think that was a bit of a wasted shield by our opponent. And now my Ludicolo is in a really nice spot where hopefully 2 of the best answers to it that my opponent could have are out of the way. Well, maybe not. But, I mean, my Shadow Caesar is still pretty strong into this Pokemon, and I doubt they have Aerial Ace, so none of the charge attack pressure here is going to be super effective into my Ludicolo. I should be able to survive the Peck damage here, maybe Astonish through this. The Aura Sphere, smart play. That is the neutral attack in that situation. Yeah, I mean, these Astonishes are doing so much here. There is still that Dunsparce in the back line, though, so we have to keep that in mind. But as long as we can Astonish this down before I get Peck down, we should be able to win. And it looks like that will be the case. I still have my Unova Stunfisk as well, just in case I need an extra Thundershock or two. Ludicolo might not be the bulkiest Pokemon in the game, but it's got some bulk to it, right? Oh, nice. Just one Astonish even knocks him out here. Love to see it. There we go. Double Flyer team, plus a normal type lead. Not a lot of play for Ludicolo, but I guess still able to knock out 2 Pokemon there in the endgame. And that's a 4-1. Alright, there we go. Learning how to use Ludicolo. I'd say not a bad start. Let's keep it going. Next opponent. Ludicolo into a Furret. Okay, another normal type lead. I don't love seeing this Pokemon, but I think this time I'm actually going to stay in the lead for a second here. Our opponent might be lagging. Okay, they're getting some fast moves through him. They threw in bad timing here. I don't know how many fast moves they missed. I think maybe 1 or 2 sucker punches, but, you know, that happens. I'm at back-to-back Weather Ball here, but I could also be at a Leaf Storm. Let's see if they want a shield. I just don't really want to bring in my Shadow Caesar here down energy, honestly. Okay, we actually get a shield there. Oh, that might have been a CMP. This is amazing, actually, at this point. Because I doubt they double shield. Oh, Ludicolo, look at that damage. That's insane. All right, Swift might knock us out here. Honestly, I really want it to. It does, nice. Okay. I'm going to bring in my Unova Stunfisk here to Thundershock down. At this point, I'm going to have a lot of energy on a Pokemon that hopefully is not going to be countered in the back. Okay, well, they do have the Marowak here, so they do have a counter to us, which is not ideal. I was hoping for it would be their, pseudo grass type kind of counter to Unova Stunfisk, but they did have the Marowak. This is a strange play, but I'm actually going to stay in here and go for another Mud Bomb, just to make it a little bit easier for my Shadow Scizor to bullet punch through the rest of this. Or maybe I get his shield here. Okay. 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 Yeah, maybe don't bring in the Wigglytuff there. They didn't really have much of a choice, though. They were in a pretty bad spot, so let's take it. GG's. All right. Next game. Ludicolo into Florges. Okay. A little bit scared about this just because I do have a Scizor in the back line that might be avoiding its one good matchup here. But I'm also in a pretty good spot where they can't really Chilling Water a Ludicolo, right? At least they shouldn't. They throw after 6, which is not the most ideal timing they could have gone for. I get a full Astonish through for free. They're going to go for a Trailblaze, makes sense. I do take a decent amount of damage, just because, obviously, Ludicolo is not the bulkiest Pokemon in the game. I also don't have the best Ludicolo. I wish I had a better one. But I should be able to get to 2 Weather Balls here, thanks to them going for that crazy alignment throw a second ago. Got that full Astonish through him. Do we get a shield here? We do not, so we just knock this out. Okay, well, they bring in a Fire and Rock type here into my Ludicolo, which means I can just go for a Weather Ball Water, either get a shield or a very large amount of damage against them, and I can't avoid this with my Shadow Scizor, which is pretty nice, because Scizor does not want to see a Fire type, if I can help it. These Astonishes, too, are going to put them into a range where potentially just one Mud Bomb could be able to just one-shot them here. Because once again, Rock and Fire is not just double weak to water, it's double weak to ground as well. They Rock Tomb, maybe trying to survive my Mud Bomb here. I don't know if that's going to help or not. We'll see. They should still be one more Incinerate away from an Overheat potentially, so let's keep that in mind. Mud Bomb going to get the second shield here. Okay. I mean, I think this is just a Rock Tomb. I might be crazy, but I'm going to let this go. Yeah, just a Rock Tomb. Maybe my opponent thinking that I don't know my counts here. Okay, and we see a Gastrodon in the back line. A Pokemon that would be a little bit trickier if I didn't have Trailblaze. They're just going for the Body Slam. I can no-shield this once again. Maybe a risky play, saying it is going to hurt my Scizor despite being resisted. But I think I can survive this. I can go for that Trailblaze and get the knockout. And at this point here, while the Scizor will, or the Magcargo will farm down my Scizor, we have to keep in mind that my debuffs on my Unova Stunfisk have now been cleared. And my opponent realizes that they are in a very bad spot, and we're able to pick up the win. Alright, next battle. Ludicolo into Doublade. Okay, interesting, actually. I have super effective damage against them, but Doublade does have some efficient attacks here. Sacred Sword as well as Shadow Claw will add up quite a bit against us, but, no super effective damage against us here. Okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have swapped so slowly, but that's fine. This is a non-Shadow Celium, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I need Switch Advantage, not as much as they do in this game. Man, these Powder Snows just add up, though, don't they? It's crazy how much damage a resisted Powder Snow does. I mean, I know this Pokemon is not even remotely bulky, but, like, it is kind of sad. Alright. I survived Body Slam here. The next one, though, will hurt quite a bit. I'm kind of thinking there's a good chance it's a Galarian Moltres in the backline, so I think my Unovan Stunfisk has a lot to play this game. We'll go for the Leaf Storm. I hate that I have to throw such a high impact move into such a low HP Pokemon, but I know this wouldn't quite be enough here with a Weather Ball. Okay, I actually see a Clefable in the back line, which is also fine. Whoa, that's a Swift, so I guess we know their moveset now. I'll shield this up, because I feel like at this point, Leaf Storm's still gonna hurt. And we know they're not on Moonblast. Do they want to shield a -2 Leaf Storm? That's gonna be the big question. I'd be kind of surprised. Nice. That's massive. Now they're in Mud Bomb range. At worst, that's a Meteor Mash. They built up to 5. And Meteor Mash is resisted by my electric typing. Yeah, nice. Okay. That does not do anything. They have a lot of energy here on Double Aid, but after the Astonish damage I got against them earlier, I think there's a good chance I can just go for one Mud Bomb and either knock them out or Thundershock them down after the fact. Alright, big Mud Bomb. Let's see what they're gonna do here. They likely have to shield this. They don't really have much of a choice. Well, they no shield, so I guess they had a choice, but that might not have been the right one. I'm still outside of range where a Meteor Mash or a Swift would knock us out, so Clefable has way too much work to do, not enough HP, and we're able to pick up the win. Next battle. Alright, Ludicolo into Dusclops. Okay, fantastic lead matchup once again. We know Astonish damage is super effective into the opposing Ghost type, and the non-Shadow here is going to make things a little bit interesting, because I don't know exactly how much damage I can do to them, and how much damage they do to us. Well, we'll learn, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Might be a crazy play here, but I'm going to go for the Leaf Storm. I want to get a knockout or a shield early on, if I can. Because I still survived this move from our opponent. Yeah, we just straight up knock him out here. Okay, maybe a bad play. I'm bringing in Shadow Caesar down energy against a Digger's Beam. I think I just kind of have to, because I need to clear my debuff. And, well, I'm not in a great spot here. I should be able to at least neutralize this enough as to where my Ludicolo later on this game can close out this matchup, and then hopefully the final Pokemon is going to be good for Unova and Stunfisk. Oh, well, that's also good for us there, because, I mean, I want this Diggersby out of the way. The bad thing is, if they swap out, how do I finish off this Diggersby? I don't think I can farm them down with Astonish or Thundershock. Okay. They bring in a Shadow Caesar. I go for a CMP, and we do win CMP. This is going to be interesting, because I have a lot of fast move pressure this game, and honestly, this is going to be kind of hard for the Shadow Caesar to finish off my Ludicolo as well. They might still need a charge attack. Big Night Slash. We do end up getting knocked out there, obviously. They have to throw energy against us to knock us out. And if they don't shield this move up, then they get knocked out. I think that I can Thundershock this down either way, and then Mud Bomb that Diggersby, and we should be able to win. Oh, dude, that one Astonish there might actually just prevent them from even reaching a charge attack against my Unovan Stunfisk. If they get the boost even, I don't think that really helps them here. Yeah, they don't even get another attack off. I'm so tempted to go for a discharge. I don't want to do anything that might lose this game, though. I want to guarantee this win, because this Diggersby actually could have been a little bit scary in the backline. I wonder how Ludicolo into Diggersby normally is, because I don't do any fast move pressure against them. I bet it's honestly not that great for Ludicolo, but we'll take the win here. Nice. Next opponent, Ludicolo into Shadow Kanto Marowak. Fantastic lead matchup here. My backline doesn't love seeing this Pokemon. Ludicolo, the water and grass type, very much does. Okay. This is a little bit more awkward than I'd like it to be, because I don't know if a Mud Bomb knocks him out from here. I actually stayed in to do a bit of Astonish damage against this Empoleon, because I know Astonish, while it isn't super effective, it's still more high impact of a fast move than Thundershock, so it does do a bit more fast move pressure. Maybe it's enough to put them into Mud Bomb range. Ah, they no shield, and they do survive. I can't really go down shields here, I don't think. What I'm going to do instead is just bank on the fact that maybe this was their best Ludicolo counter, which might be a risky play, and I can farm them down with Shadow Caesar to get a little bit of an energy lead against that Marowak. Okay, obviously Marowak does come back in here. They're at 3, so they do have access here to a move known as Bone Club after one more Mud Slap. We get a shield with the Night Slash, or... Nice. Not only do we catch the Bone Club, but we got an Astonish sneak through him. I'll no-shield this up, but I'm a little bit worried that maybe there's just going to be a lot of fast move pressure in the backline. Oh no! They were just bluffing. I called their bluff, I guess. Did not legitimately think they would be this weak to Ludicolo, but I'm very glad they are. Oh my goodness. Ludicolo, the Core Breaker, nearly one-shotting the Ozum. I guess it's a little bit sad it's not a clean one-shot, but this is so fine at this point. I can just go for the full Astonish down here, and then I don't see what that Marowak can do. Even with the debuff to my attack stat here, we Astonish down, and Bubble is resisted by both of my typings, so we take no fast move pressure whatsoever. I can just get to double Leaf Storm here, too. Leaf Storm is such a powerful move. Okay, I guess they're still playing this one out. They still think they have a chance. Little do they know, they have not even a sliver of a chance here. Ludicolo is going to close this one out. Bone Club gets our shield. Oh no, I shielded the bait, but we have the Leaf Storm. -4 Leaf Storm. I'm sure that still basically one-shots a Shadow Kanto Marowak. It definitely does at least 40%, and that's all we need it to do. So we get the KO, pick up the win here. Nice, what a good set here once again. Ludicolo is actually such a fun core breaker. Nice, oh, a 5-0? Ludicolo, let's go. We get the Kyurem counter as well. Cannot be going much better here. Well, maybe if I hit my throw. There we go. Let's cash that in. Ludicolo is actually really fun. Ludicolo is such a fun core breaker here in the Go Bad League. The only issue with it is a little bit underwhelming neutrally sometimes, and while it has really good coverage, if you need to land that Leaf Storm, you always have to debuff yourself, so keep that in mind. This Pokemon might not be the most consistent, but it could be a pretty interesting pick here in the future. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.